Hey everybody, this is Jeff Bernard with Solve Systems, and today you're going to learn how to integrate the Shopify POS with Business Central. So there's a lot of integrations with the online store, and you would think it's all the same platform, so the integration should be the same. However, there's a specific way to set it up to get your orders that have been fulfilled in Shopify at the point of sale into Business Central, get everything mapped correctly, automatically create sales invoices, and post them and close them out. So this was a requirement that I had with the customer. It's sort of a unique case, but I can see more people out there wanting this information, so that was the impetus for the video. So follow along and reach out to me if you need some help implementing this solution for your organization. So we have a Business Central test instance open, and this is going to be counterintuitive to you, but it's actually in Microsoft's developer notes. So what you're going to want to do is you have your Shopify plugin here. Disregard this one. This is a test, a third-party extension. So we're going to look at the Shopify shops, and you'll see that there's two stores. This is not two separate stores. This is the same store, but we're going to pull the data in two different ways. So this is going to be the online store configuration, which was done in a prior video on how to set this up. And we are syncing items to Shopify, and then we are going to create the orders back in Business Central to be fulfilled by a warehouse. So create the sales order. This is what this particular plugin configuration does. You can add another Shopify store card, and this will just implicitly be for POS orders. So we're going to name it such, POS. You could divide this up between your retail locations if you're a multi-state company and you have, say, an online store that you're linked to BC and you want to have your POS in multiple locations. You would create one for each segment of your business. But right now we have the POS. We have our Shopify URL for our test store enabled, and then we're going to keep all of these other settings off, right? And then we're going to have customer synchronization set to all customers for the import from by email and phone. And we're going to have company name, first name, last name, state sources code, and then our customer template define. And then Shopify can update customers. Very important there. We're going to have auto sync orders on. There's a webhook conflict that I haven't really quite understood, because they enable you to be able to add multiple store cards, but then if you already have auto synced orders on your online store card and you hit auto sync here, it double registers the webhook. So I'm not really sure why that error exists. However, if you turn it on and you see the error, you can still keep it turned on. It really doesn't interfere with anything that I've noticed. So we'll have Shopify order number on the document line and auto create a sales order. And then we will have auto release a sales order. We're not going to enable that yet, and I'm going to show you why. So we have sell to, bill to, ship to as the tax area. And I'm going to show you a nuance to the POS that is not always clear. And it's that the way that the POS is mapped to Business Central is as if they did not include something in the mapping on the back end, but with the APIs that talk to one another to the tables in Business Central from Shopify. And so you'll really not be able to dynamically pass the tax area, which is okay in this instance, because if you think about it, a POS, you're selling in one location. And so the tax derived from that location will be exactly in that location, right? Point of sale. So you're selling and fulfilling at the point of sale. So we'll go to the orders, and then I will share my phone screen, and then we will also make some nuances here, or describe some nuances. So I'm going to share my phone screen. And you'll see we have one product here. This is a teapot or an air pot. It looks like a coffee pot. And what you're going to want to do is, this is the flow that I suggest that customers follow. So first we go to customers and we'll add a customer. We'll just say the person is John J. And John J at j.com. Obviously this is fake information. And then we will add in a fake number. And then you have to add an address. So Business Central needs an address to map this. So regardless of if it's point of sale or not, point of sale, you're going to have to add an address to this person. And if they're already in your POS system, then it's fine. So we'll just give this random address. Looks like all the information is good. We'll save them. And then they're add to cart. Okay. So now you'll see there right here in the remove customer, that's adding your customer to your cart in the POS. And then we'll add a teapot. So we'll see that quantity not tracked at this location. That's fine. We're going to go to the cart. We see John J is attached to the cart right here. And then we have our product right here. Okay. So we'll see that the taxes are 37. That's being calculated from an area code, right, of our POS. So this is, Shopify is calculating this based on our POS area code. And then we will enter a bogus credit card. And hopefully the payment gateway will load. And you can enter a bunch of series of 4-2s, and this is for testing. Obviously the payment gateway is enabled. And then we'll hit charge. Okay, so the payment's processing. Payment goes through. Okay, great. We have this is done, and we'll not share the screen any longer. Okay, so we're back. What we're going to want to do now is sync our orders. This can be set up as a job in Business Central to where you can automatically import them every few minutes. That's fine. But we're going to go to the POS card. We're going to go to synchronization, and we're going to sync orders. Here's one thing that is very important. When you're syncing orders, you need to define in this channel name, this is the sales channel in Shopify. There's a weird thing where if you do not designate the sales channel with POS orders, they won't come over defined as a POS order. They'll come over defined as online. And we want to segment those so that we can clearly see what's POS orders and what is online orders. So we'll say point of sale. They actually describe this in the Microsoft technical documents for this, which I'll link below, but it's not, it kind of doesn't make sense when you start looking at it. It took me a lot of trial and error to get this implemented. So we'll see, who is this? This is an old test customer. So we're going to refresh. We should see that order come over. Okay, so we see that the order came over. It's been fulfilled. The tax amount was on there. Okay, there we go. So POS, we had some more orders come in. So this is the actual order. So we'll see that the tax amount was mapped over. Okay, and one thing to note is that the sell to information won't be there for the POS. Don't know why, but it's never there for the POS. It maps perfectly for the online store. But you'll see John J right here is defined. If we show more, we can see that it's come through at the point of sale. So that's very key to define the channel name when you're importing orders. And again, you can set this up as a recurring job so that you don't have to go manually import it. But for testing's sake, it's helpful. We can see that a sales invoice has been generated, and we can see all of their information is attached, which is really sweet. And then you can see the sales tax also is mapped, which is awesome. And so from here, we can open up the sales invoice. We can see it's open, right? And with Power Automate, we can actually go in and build a way to close the sales invoices automatically. So it pulls it out of the inventory here. It's taken out of the inventory, obviously, in Shopify already. So posting the invoice will pull it out of inventory in Business Central. So here is a quick way to get your POS orders flowing into here. You can see the customer sell-to name. This is another one of the fields that's not mapped for the POS. Don't know why. I've tried to define it in the customer template. Honestly, if you have a way of doing this, please reach out to me. I've tried many different ways, but you see this is an online order and everything maps perfectly for sell-to. So it seems like a quirk to me. I don't know if it is or is not. Can't even update it with Power Automate because the customer name is actually a read-only field on the API. So I can't even go in the back end and modify that. But you'll see all their information is here. Their invoicing information, everything's here for this customer. And what we can actually do, and we'll see if everything, I don't know what I have set up on this tenant and not. So let's look at the sales invoice actually. So we'll look at the sales invoice and we see that it too doesn't even have the customer name in here. Again, this is one of those fields that you cannot update with the API. It's frustrating, but this is just for the POS orders. The customer is in there, right? The customer number, everything you need to process it further is there. It's just for some reason the sell-to information isn't there. Even the everything's there. So it's very interesting that, and actually this is one of the other things. So tax area code, let's go over this. For the customer and for the Shopify order, it comes in, it records the taxes. Well, Business Central, you have to have invoice details and the tax area code for Business Central to calculate the taxes. Again, this happens for the online orders, doesn't happen for the POS orders. I'm not quite sure what is not integrated on the back end. I've not been able to figure that out. So we'll say Houston, or we'll try to get, let's see, Texas. We'll see, select from full list. Actually, let's just choose Atlanta. Okay. So we chose Atlanta, and we see we don't have a area code there. Okay, so tax area code. We'll look at our tax area code. So you basically are going to use a tax engine. Some people use Avalara, or you're going to use the inbuilt tax engine here. So use external tax engine. You would use that there, and then that would be mapped to your tax area code. It would then pull in the taxes. So that's one of the things that you're going to have to be cognizant of, is that on the actual sales order, to account for taxes, you're going to have to either integrate Business Central's tax engine, or you're going to have to use an external tax engine, and then you'll be able to populate your taxes. It's still one thing to note is that Shopify has a different tax engine than Business Central, so it's likely that you will have to do a tax override, or you'll have to figure out a way to make the taxes match. It's a quirk of tax engines and how things are accounted for in different systems. So based on your particular system, you can reach out to me and we can help solve that if that's something that you're struggling with. So I'm going to post this and see what happens, because this is a test instance. So we'll see. It's starting to process now. It may take a little bit. So we're seeing it's posting lines, posting customer. Okay, so move to posted sales invoice windows. And then we can see for this customer, we'll go back and look at that customer, John J. And then we'll look at the customer ledger entry. And we'll see that that has been added to the customer ledger entry with the payment code. Everything there is mapped, which is really nice. And you can set up different GL accounts and payment codes to then track, your online orders and your POS orders and how they're coming into Business Central. So there's a little bit more configuring to do with the POS than the online store. And so I just wanted to make this video to give that differentiation. If you're struggling with this like I did, please reach out and I'd be glad to take a look at your system and help you get everything set up. So have a good day, and like and subscribe for more content and notifications when we post content. And please reach out to me at the link below for the contact form for solvesystems.com. Have a good day.